So this is absolute value equations from graphs. We'll give you a graph. We'll ask you to write the equation of the absolute value function. So here's an example of what a question might look like. Write the equation of the graph below, and then it gives you this absolute value graph. So let's just talk about this for a second. Key vocabulary that you're going to need to know is what an absolute value function is. An absolute value function is just a function that contains an absolute value symbol. So it's going to look like a V on a graph, or it's going to look like an inverted V, so like upside down, like the picture we just saw, right? So inverted V, or it could just be a V that's straight up and down. It could be a function that looks just like a V like that. You know, you get your arrows on the end. Vertex, that's just the highest point, so like up here, or the lowest point down there. And an ordered pair is an x and y values that represent a point on a graph. So if this is my vertex here, then my x coordinate is 3, 1, 2, 3, and my y coordinate is -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. This is an ordered pair, an x, y pair that represents a point on a graph. So that's our key vocabulary. Let's go ahead and move on to some characteristics. So here we have some characteristics. We have a vertex, this, and then we have end behavior. So where is it going in the end? Well, this is opening up, heading down. So this will end up having a leading coefficient of a negative. This is a negative absolute value function because it's going down. If the V opened up, then it would have been a positive absolute value function. And we'll show you more what that looks like in our steps ahead. So here's how we're going to do this. We're going to identify the vertex, which we've already talked about. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, -4 is our vertex. And then we're going to insert x in for the h in the equation. Y equals a times x minus h plus k. So now I have y equals a times x minus h. What's my h? It's 3. I go ahead and put that in. Plus k. Step 3, insert y for the k. So I inserted this x value for h, and I'm going to insert this y value for k. So I end up with y equals a times x minus 3 plus -4. And those double signs will just become a negative. So now I insert the slope for a in the equation y equals a times x minus h plus k. Well, what's my slope here? Well, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1. So these here are 1, a slope of 1, and I told you this is a negative function, so it's pointing down. It's a negative function, so I end up getting y equals -1, don't need the 1, times x minus h, which is 3, minus 4. So this right here is not a 1, it's an absolute value bar. So I have y equals negative, absolute value of x minus 3, absolute value minus 4. Some common errors are to find your vertex and then just plug it in by saying, oh, y equals negative x plus 3 because this is a positive 3, minus 4 because that's a minus 4, and that's wrong. You can see that the plus should have been a minus. So remember, it's x minus h in our formula, x minus h. Make sure that whatever the sign is here, it's the opposite. You'll see another example where x is negative, and we'll show you how that works up next. Common errors we just talked about, ignoring the negative before the y in the equation. Okay, so here we've got our vocabulary again. We've got our next example, kind of some characteristics up here, and we're going to go ahead and walk through the steps. So we've got our vertex here, which is at 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4 is our x value, and -1 is our y value. So I've identified the vertex. Done. I'm going to insert x for the h in the equation, so I end up getting y equals a times x minus h. What is h? It's -4. And now I have a double negative. So a common error is to say, oh, this is y equals a times x minus 4, because that's a negative 4. But that's wrong because I have a double negative. So this is going to become a positive 4 plus k. So when I rewrite it down here, now I have y equals a times x plus 4. The double negative became a plus. And now I can do step 3 and insert k, which is minus 1. Got a negative 1 in there. Step 4, is it opening down or is it opening up? It's opening down. These arrows continue going down, so it's a negative. So I have y equals negative, absolute value of x plus 4, absolute value minus 1. And that is my complete answer. Good luck, guys. Remember the common errors. First one is to make sure that these negatives, if it's a double negative, like it is over here, that you make it into a positive, like it should be here. And the other common error actually is that sometimes we forget to put in our negative if it's pointing down. So make sure that when you write this particular function, you don't write it as y equals absolute value of x plus 4 minus 1, because even though your vertex is right, you forgot this leading coefficient, this negative that belongs here. Okay, that would have been correct. Not putting that in there, leaving it off, that is an error. This would be wrong. All right, guys, good luck.